it for him. There it says it's going. There you go.
Good job.
So I don't know where it's going. I think it's going to my computer, and I may run out of memory. So let's.
Well, at your age, everybody does.
Ooh, we should kick things off there quick, Myron.
All right.
So-
Don's with us. Good evening, everyone. We'll go ahead and start the official 2025 DES annual meeting required.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no problem, Don. We've been talking other important things.
Okay,
I
good.
can't remember what they are, but anyway, good evening, everyone. The 2025 annual meeting required by the bylaws of the Deep Space Exploration Society. And the reason for this annual meeting is to confirm and to install and to elect new board to elect new officers for the next year for this year, and probably running into next year as we normally do. So the tonight will be my last night doing what I've been doing, and we'll get into first of all the certification of the board of directors election. Floyd's secretary is supposed to be here to do that. I'm filling in as well. So we decided at the last meeting that the installation of the officers will officially commence at the annual meeting, which is tonight. So those who were elected, we had 4 nominations. Out of that 4, we had three elected with the most votes. And that was Paul Sabone, Don Latham, and Bill Thomas. So they will be filling a 2-year term starting tonight, and that term will run for 2 years. Then next year, we have 4 board members coming up for election, and we'll have another election, and then another, the officers are only elected for 1 year. So the officers for 1 year, the board for 2 years. So tonight, with the installation of the board of directors, we rolled into the officers, and at the last night's gathering of the board of directors, let me put up the announcement here, the agenda, I should say. So this is what we're going to do right now. The Paul Sabone, Don Latham, Bill Thomas officially installed as board of directors. The DSES officers to be announced tonight, and board of directors nominate, select, and vote. Well, when you only have 4 positions and only 4 people running, the nominations are fairly easy to decide who's going to be elected. So as we roll into that tonight, we will show the official who's going to be the officers. President for the next year will be Paul Sabone. Vice President will be Bill Miller. He'll continue that job. He's been with it several years or more. Bill Thomas has volunteered to run for secretary, and he's filling the secretary position that Floyd Glick had. And myself will continue as treasurer. The board not listed above: Rick Hambley, Don Lane, and Don Latham are board members and not part of the officers. So, as president for your last several years, I think 3 or 4 years, doing dual duty as president and treasurer, I really appreciate all the support from the board of directors. It's been a roller coaster ride at times. We've had a lot going on, and we've had accomplished a lot over the last several years, and we got much more to accomplish. And Paul will be leading the group. And I tell you what, this is a group effort, and without the board of directors we have, it would be hard to do for 1 or 2 people. So again, I appreciate all the support, not only from the board of directors, but from the members. We've got a lot of good members, a lot of highly educated members, and they can offer a lot of insight. And sometimes we get a lot of suggestions from the other people, and we sometimes just can't do everything that people would like us to do, but we keep adding those suggestions and those comments to the list of things to maybe to someday to accomplish. So again, that's all I have to say as outgoing president. So the opening statement and comments from the new president, Paul Sabone. I pass you the torch, and you can continue on with the rest of tonight's meeting. And that's all I have to say, Paul. That's all yours.
Thanks for the torch.
Hopefully it'll stay lit. And the wind won't blow it out at Haswell.
Yeah, we'll blow it out at Haswell for sure. Yeah, thanks everybody, and welcome to the Deep Space Exploration Society. I usually do this for the Front Range 6-meter group, but now we're doing it for the DSES. And so what I was hoping to share with you today is some ideas on what our goals and objectives are for the next year, and how we're going to supposedly get there. So let me do the share here, if I can do this correctly. And Bill's been very helpful in tutoring me.
We'll see.
All right.
There we go. Looks good.
Looks good. Okay, so goals and objectives for next year. Here we go. So move to the next slide. So one of the things we're going to talk about is the Haswell facility, often known as the Plishner site. And one of the things we want to do is we want to complete the building project and do some landscaping and some water mitigation, stuff like that. And Bill Miller is in charge of that, and he'll be doing a great job, I'm sure. The other thing I want to do is get an annual maintenance program going for the dish. This is something that I'm not sure why it hasn't happened, but we've discovered in many different ways how to lubricate the dish and how to keep it from running. And luckily, it's not too worn, so I think it's got many years, and I don't think we're going to wear anything out if we lubricate it. And so we got some good things going there. And we're always looking for volunteers who'd like to learn how to lubricate a dish. In fact, Bill Thomas has told me that there's a gentleman that's interested in our group who has some background in space dishes and things like that. So this might be a good person to have on board. So I'll be following up with him. One of the other big jobs we got ahead of us is we got to move the ham station from the bunker. And at the same time, we need to put antennas on a couple of towers that we've got the bases in for. And we need to finish those off, put some rotators in there, and get all that working. And we're going to put a temporary ham station down, or at least another ham station down in the bunker for anybody who wants to come along and just use the microphone and a tribander that's going to be up there. There's a lot of science experiments that we want to get into, and we'll be talking about those here briefly. Also, the fiber optic internet installation that has to take place, and that's going to hopefully take place within the next month or so. Where East Slope Communications is putting fiber into Haswell right now, and they told me that they should be able to do this in the spring here, when the ground's not frozen and there's no windstorms. The other thing we need to understand is what's going to be the long-term strategy for the bunker and the generator shack, which has got some equipment in there. There's a generator actually in there that's it's a natural gas generator, and we need to remove that from our site. So we need to see if there's anybody who wants to get it for free, and as long as they can take it away. So maybe we'll put an ad in the local paper, see if we can find somebody who wants it. And also what we're going to do with the trailer, now that the command station has been moved over to the new building, we have a empty trailer that maybe we could do something with. So those are just some of the ideas. Stop me if you got any other ideas,
Yeah, there's one big one that we're missing there, and that's the 30-foot dish installation.
So you're reading ahead.
Yeah, don't read ahead, please. Okay.
Oh, I didn't.
Leave me alone.
Really?
Okay, so the projects and activities, which is what Bill Miller was alluding to. We've got the Earth, Venus, Earth 25 project, and we need to create a report for the ARDC after this is done. and also look at the next stage of that, which is EVE 26, which is when Venus will be coming around again. So we're going to have a couple of shots at this planet, and maybe by then there'll be like dozens of people doing it. So we'll see how things go. And that one we're planning to do on 13 centimeters, or 2304 is the frequency in megahertz. And so we have to figure out what we still need on top of what we have now, and we'll put a funding request in for that. There's going to be some Earth contests this year, and so we're going to be operating those with the new system that's in our feed. That took quite a effort to get this thing into the feed, and it's not something that's going to be taken out very lightly because it weighs a lot, and it's a very big process to remove it. So hopefully we're going to keep it in there and have it protected. But we'll be doing the Dubis contest, which is the European contest, and it's going to be on April 4th through the 6th, and we'll be operating CW. So we'll probably have some sideband in there, but 99% of the contacts actually come through CW, because a lot of the stations don't have a lot of power. They have very small antennas. We can hear them, and they can sure hear us. Open house is another topic which we're going to be talking about later. That's something we've been running every year in the fall, and there's been some talk about maybe having one special one for the membership. So that's something we'll explore as we go along here. There's many ham fests that we all participate in, Bill, myself, and a bunch of others. And there's also some outreach programs that we've been doing with schools and local clubs. And there's also many speaking opportunities. We're going to be doing one at the HamCon, which is in October this year. And I'll be speaking along with Alex and Roger. We're going to be doing a talk on DSES and what we've been doing. School programs. This is another one that Doug Lieber is one of our members is in charge of, and setting up the visits and things like that. So we'll be doing a lot of those this year in the fall. And lastly, we need to set up a funding drive for the 30-foot dish, and how that's going to work, and a proposal to develop a proposal rather for some funding on that. So one of our members, K0GD, Rick, is going to be working on that. Moving on, radio astronomy. So got a lot of input here on that, and so one of the things we're going to be trying to do is, when we do these science observations, we're going to try to update our website with the information and what we're hearing and what we're doing. That's going to be one of the things that we want to keep updated on the website, so that people know when we're doing stuff. We're going to try to have an SDR IQ receiver. In other words, an SDR that sends out IQ information at the feed, and have some new software for processing the IQ data. The SDR, the nice thing about having an SDR at the feed is we can take advantage of the EVE development that we did with fiber optics to be able to send the IQ data right down to the control room without any noise or any of that kind of stuff, no losses. And that way the data there is the same as you would have right there at the feed. So it's a big improvement over the existing system.
Also, bring us up to date on, there's a new term, SDR-IQ. I'm not familiar with that. I don't know if everybody
I'm
is.
sorry, I should have said something. Yeah, so an SDR, when it gets its data, it's software-defined receiver. When it gets its data, it puts the data out in a format which is called IQ, which is a recording of the bandwidth. So say your SDR has got a bandwidth of 2 megahertz. So everything that it listens to over those 2 megahertz is sent as IQ data, and that data goes into an application like SDR console, and it's presented itself on a waterfall along with other information, and it's also recorded to the hard drive, so that if you wanted to replay it, you can just simply go to the hard drive and replay the IQ data. The other thing about it is the IQ data can be used to process the information there as to get a better signal to noise ratio by using some digital processing techniques. And by improving the signal to noise ratio, then you can start hearing things like pulsars and magnetars and masers and who knows what else is out there, spacecraft. So that's kind of the idea behind it. And we talked about the software for processing it, and we may need a special computer for that. So that's what that is about. Did I mess it up really bad, Bill, or did that make any sense?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, good. Looking for deep space objects to explore at 21 centimeters. Those include pulsars, masers, and neutral hydrogen. So Dan Lane has put that in there, and I'm sorry, but I don't know what other things you can find at 21 centimeters, but that's pretty close to 2304. I'm sorry, that's pretty close to 1296 rather, which is where we are right now. We're at 20. Let me think here. We're at 23 centimeters. So it's only a couple of centimeters away.
1400 megs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little shorter wavelength, a little higher in frequency. So that's what we'll be doing there. There's also we'd like to do a remote sky survey with the dish and basically pointing straight up and do a drift scan across the sky. And that's a cool thing to do and get that information. Also, a weather station. That's something else we need to have down there. We'd like to know how strong the wind is blowing and other interesting things. So we want to be able to access that remotely. If we get the fiber in there, it'll make it really easy for us to have a remote access, perhaps even a way to display it real time all the time. So anybody wants to just look at the website, they could pick it up. But that's something I got to discuss with our webmaster as well, Bill, WT0DX.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
It's not so much the real weather, it's the space weather that we're interested in.
I know. Space weather,
However,
however,
the real weather is important too when we travel there.
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have any. Yeah, if you don't have any local weather, you won't have any space weather either.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll keep that in mind. We're going to have a discussion about that after you get done.
Done. Good. All right. Get the E-Callisto solar spectrometer, which is in process. We're going to install a Reeve SAM 3 magnetometer. We're going to relocate the GNSS scintillation experiment, which basically measures the scintillation or the changes in the
GPS.
GPS satellites as they're affected sometimes by the solar wind. And also we're going to install a Radio Jove 2.0 antenna and put an SDR with that. And we're going to look at the HAMSI to see if we can use any of their sensors. I'm afraid I don't know what sensors they have at HAMSI, but I know that Doug Lieber is at the HAMSI convention last weekend in New Jersey. So perhaps when he comes back, he'll be able to give us a little bit more information on that. Anything else?
I just wanted to mention that I posted in the chat a link to a description of IQ data and what that means for the kind of activities we're interested in.
Good job. Thank you, Bill.
Did we have some weather instrumentation coming from the New Jersey guys?
Which kind of weather? Don?
Get, plain old wind
Oh.
and
Yeah, what, do you want to have that discussion now or you want to wait till we're done with this piece?
oh, we can wait. It's no problem.
Okay, let's wait.
Yeah,
And I'll
yeah,
bring some stuff up.
good.
Okay, moving on. The DSES organization, we've grown a lot in the last couple of years. We're now over, I think last time, Myra, you said 104 members, something like that.
Well, actually, before I purged the roster due to some non-payments, about 115 right now.
115, my gosh.
We just had another member from the Sarah convention joined us out of Anchorage, Alaska. We had a new member out of Philadelphia and one from North Carolina joined recently.
So we are truly international and
a gentleman from Scotland, a ham, a radio astronomy enthusiast, is interested as well.
great. Well, sounds like we're doing good. The other thing, so we need to, so under the organization, we need to look at our general fundraising, how we're going to keep the lights on in at Flishner. And so we need to develop an operating budget, and Bill, WT0DX, and myself and Myron are going to work on that. The other thing is that we need a way to take all the information that is on Myron's computer and Bill's computer and everybody else's computers and put it somewhere where we can put it as an archive so that people who come here 20 years from now when we're gone will be able to look back and say, geez, that guy Paul was stupid. I mean, you know, we need to have some kind of way to archive all our information here. So that's one of the things that we need to discuss, how we're going to do that and where we're going to put this archive. It's got to be someplace that's going to be there forever. It's a scary thought. Anyway, the other thing is we need to have a budget accounting tool for our great treasurer Myron here. We need to give him some real tools that makes it like easy, so he doesn't even have to think about the accounting side. And the other thing we need to do is maybe automate our membership process. It's a little bit clunky, and we need to kind of make it so that it's really smooth. So point and click and shoot and all that kind of stuff, make it real easy for people to join up to our organization and get on the membership roster and everything else they need to do. The other thing is monthly letter is really something that I think is something we need to add to our club, because we do a lot of stuff now, and we need to be able to let people know what we're doing, so that way we can get them involved. And one time Myron did I guess we missed a meeting and Myron did a summary of what we were doing, and it was great. It wasn't too long. It gave all the great points, and it was super. And I'm wondering if maybe Rick's wife Elaine might be interested in becoming her newsletter, because she wrote a really great article that's posted in QST. So she's got some really great writing skills, along with Rick. It goes in the family there. So we'll see if we can coerce her into becoming our newsletter editor, and maybe Rick. And the other thing is we need to update and maybe redesign the website to make it a little bit easier to use. And I think Bill's been talking to some folks about it. So Bill, WT0DX, Bill Thomas. And so hopefully we can talk about that at some point and figure that how we're going to do that and what it takes. And we'd like to maybe increase our membership about another 20%. So let's see if we can get up to about 140 members. If 140 to 150 members this year. So it's going to be a little bit of a membership drive, see how many more people we can get involved and get some hands-on people that want to do stuff. Get people with skill sets, you know, like how to lubricate a dish. That would be kind of cool. And anyway, we already got a guy who knows how to build buildings. All right, so that was basically all I had for my charts tonight. I'm going to send those over to Myron. I think Myron's got the distribution list, and maybe you can send that out, or would you like me to just attach it to the group IO? I guess Myron stepped away for a minute. Oh, there he is.
What was that question?
I'm sorry. I was going to say these charts that this is my last chart, by the way. So do you, let me stop the share here. Would you like me to send these charts to you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think you can send them to the board of directors, and I think everybody would like to see that on the board.
Oh, just the board?
Yeah. And we can hash it out, then the board can decide what we want to put out to the membership. But yeah, a lot of good points there. And maybe we want to add to that before we publish it.
Whether you need new appliances for your kitchen.
Sure. Okay. New appliances. We get those too.
Yeah.
That'll be on the list.
Yeah, we need some new appliances. Speaking of appliances, the microwave works great at the site, and cooking on that stove is awesome, and the fridge works great. So the only well, I think we're all set there. We don't need too many other things there. Bill Miller did a great job at making, and even the vent works too. We burned something and we turned the vent on, and it got all this junk out of there. So that was really
smoke
great,
detectors
Bill.
work? Did the
Smoke detectors? We did not hear anything, so they're maybe above my hearing range, which is not unusual. We can't hear you, Bill. See, I still can't hear
Hey,
you.
Bill, you're muted.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's better.
There are no smoke detectors.
Oh,
So we probably need to, I don't know if do we need smoke detectors? I mean, there's nobody there to hear them. So if we had that, we'd have to remote them out so they'd alert us on our cell phones.
Hmm.
well, I can pick it up with those cameras. When there's a
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah, we could have one camera inside that would pick up the sound. But I mean, we'd have to figure out how to do that because if to make them effective, they'd have to be remote.
Yeah, and then we can call the fire department.
By the time they respond,
Yeah, it'll be burned to the ground,
Oops.
and the dish will be the only thing left. All
Yeah.
right. Anything else? Okay, that was my
did you want to quickly talk about weather stations and such?
Yeah, let's do it.
We have a couple of options. Dave Moulter, one of our members of the past who got us into all this, is he gave me two of the weather stations that came out of the geode sites, one on Mauna Kea and one, I can't remember where the other one was, but I've got two of these things. But the problem is they're a professional weather station like you'd have in an airport, but they run on DOS 3.0. And so the software is very old, and you have to have a computer that's suited for basically DOS. They do not run on Windows.
Are they in a box, Bill?
Yeah, they're in a
Send them to me. Send them to me.
like a box. So
Send them to me. I got a lot of experience with weather.
well, here's
Believe
what I was thinking. Rather than waste all of our time on those, there's this really neat thing out there. Hang on. Let me show you what it is.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
These sound like the Mauna Kea sounds like they are made of stern stuff. I tell you, you need it.
Well, yeah, but there's a better solution. Time marches on and we've got new stuff, and this is it. KKTV Channel 11 is promoting this thing. This is built by another company, but it's a weather monitoring system. It does everything and it has no moving parts. And so, and it's also very good with high winds and that sort of thing. And it can even monitor our solar influx. And it does. It has a rain gauge. It has a lightning detector. It can tell us how far away the lightning is when we're out there at the site. It does all kinds of things. These are about, I think last I checked, it was $275. But the really neat thing about this is that it uplinks to a cloud-based service that monitors all of these. So when we buy one of these, we get on the KKTV weather app, and it can show us the weather of all of the stations like this, and there are a lot of them. The nearest one to us, though, there's one in Kit Carson, and there's one in, I think in Ordway. And if we had one, we would fill that gap between Kit Carson and Ordway. And so you can monitor these things. I was trying to find the data that comes off of this, but you have to look this up. So look at
Yeah, I'm familiar with these kind of systems, Bill. In fact, I don't have this a particular brand, but I have a weather station at my house that is also uplinked to the server. And one of the nice things is if we put something like this in place, we can actually present information on our website about what the current conditions are.
Yeah, this gives
Is
you
there,
that capability. You can link it into your website. It shows on the general website for KKTV. It's a part of a larger network, and it'll show on your
this,
cell phone and your watch and everything else. So it's
but is this rentware, Bill? Do we have to pay
no, nope.
or you just buy it?
You
Okay,
just buy it.
Yep.
send me the information. I'll get it for the group.
You want to do that?
Yeah,
It about $300. Are you serious?
that's okay. Yeah, I'm serious. Sure.
Okay, sure.
Let's
Yeah.
That's
be done with
fantastic.
Thanks, Don.
let's be
Hey.
done with it.
Yeah,
This would save everybody a lot of time, and I think it would do
Sure.
more than we need to do, really.
Sure.
yeah. Hey, hey, Don, you can just simply, there's a scan for info thing on the screen there. You just put your phone up to it with the camera and it'll take you right to it.
That's too hard.
Yeah, that's way too hard for me. Send me the information, Bill, and
Got the wild
I'll
people.
go ahead and get it. And
Okay.
I'll send it to the club, whatever.
Yeah.
When it
Yeah,
comes.
I was pretty impressed with the data that comes off this thing. There's the rugged drivers. I don't know.
That sounds fine. The lightning thing is a guess, I can tell you now, but
Yeah.
it'll be okay. It'll be okay.
Well, yeah, the lightning thing I think was one of the greatest assets to this thing because even if you're not hearing the lightning, it can find lightning 30 miles away and where it's moving to,
Yeah.
which is amazing. But it does a lot more than the old weather stations do. That's one of the things. The old weather station that Dave gave me doesn't even have a rain gauge. It has everything.
Well, it'll have to have a self-dumping bucket of some kind, but that's okay.
Yeah, this one does.
It'll work out. It'll probably have to be cleaned once in a while, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Send me the information. I'll get it.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks,
I
Don.
just sent it to you, Don, into the
Okay.
board.
Okay. On chat?
No, I sent an email.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. That's good.
Hey, Paul, would
Oh.
you send that to me too?
I sent it to the board, so you should
Oh,
get
good.
it.
All right.
We'll all be running out and buying one soon.
Yeah, gotta get
Yeah.
one up. I'll stick it on my apartment building here.
Yeah, this thing, I thought this thing was better than anything else I'd seen in a long time. So anyway,
Well, yeah, and then if there's a bunch of other ones around too, it's good too, because you can track stuff coming
well,
in.
and you also contribute to the weather network so they can forecast better.
That's good. Sure. Okay,
Okay, very good. I guess I did mention there is one downside to this. It's Wi-Fi, but I think we can get around that by if we want to do observations by having a external power supply and just shut the thing off. When we're
oh, yeah,
observation.
that could be a problem.
Yeah.
There might be a way to hardline it.
Yeah, we can hardline the power supply for sure, but I'm not so sure about the Ethernet connection, whether that's Wi-Fi or powered or
Might be a
wired.
way to do it.
Yeah.
The manufacturer, I'll look at it when I
Yeah.
see it.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you.
Yep.
What's next? I think that was all I had. Nice short meeting, 7:30 almost. Okay. Well, we'll see you next time, I guess, unless you've got something else. Oh yeah, one more thing. Do you want to I just tell you what happened this weekend to everybody? This last weekend we worked on the dish and we did a lot of things, and One of the issues we had was the wind. So Friday was a wipeout, but we worked indoors the whole time working on the system. We were loaned a rubidium clock by the University of Colorado Boulder, and we're going to be interfacing that to a K4. There's a gentleman here in Arvada that has a K4, and he's going to bring it down this weekend on Friday. He's going to give it to me on Friday, and he's going to come down, and we're going to hook that up with the rubidium clock. And so we're going to be able to transmit exactly on frequency within 1 hertz. And that will help help the people that are going to be listening for us to capture the information that we're going to be sending. We're also going to be sending really slow CW, so they say. But I have to find a software program that will send software that or CW that's slow. We want something between 1 and 2 words per minute. And that's really slow. That's 30 seconds for a DIT and 90 seconds for a DAW. So I'm not sure where I can find that, but we're going to be sending our call sign at this speed. But they say that with that, they can narrow the beam width of their detection down to 1 hertz, which helps our signal to noise ratio. And that way they can hear us on their receivers. So that's something we're going to be doing on the weekend. We're also going to be just sending a straight carrier to start with, and the carrier will send that for and oh yeah, Alex says he doesn't want to send it for 4 minutes. He wants to send it for 2 minutes. He's trying to be cautious with our amplifier.
Yeah.
Putting 1,500 watts out for 2 minutes key down on any piece of equipment is quite a bit. We were transmitting some long signals there for a while, but the temperature of the dish or in the dish of the feed never actually got about 40 degrees Celsius. So it really never even got warm. So and we're really happy with that. So we'll see how it goes on continuous action. The power upgrade there helped a lot. The lights don't dim when we operate, which is a good sign. We had that problem in the trailer where every time you sent some CW, the lights would be flickering like this, and I was giving me a headache. But anyway, other than that, we're in good shape. And right now, according to the Venus information we gotten from a couple of different sources here, Venus will be coming up after 6 a.m. We want to wait till the sun gets above 10 degrees, or actually they're both coming up at the same time, but get Venus above 10 degrees. We also mapped out where Venus was through the whole cycle to see make sure that we're not within less than 8 degrees of the sun. And at no time are we going to be within 8 degrees of the sun. So it's going to work out really well as far as our dish is concerned. We're also going to be, I'm going to be this week and be talking to the guys in down under and see what they're planning to do. They've got some large dishes down there, but they're not as big as the one we were hoping to get. But they may be able to hear us as well. So, oh yeah, one more thing. When we were transmitting, okay, so we actually worked Dave AA0 RS in Platteville, and he heard us. We heard him just fine, and then everything went quiet. And at the same time as everything went quiet, one of the members, Mike, he noticed there was smoke coming from the dish, and so we said, "Holy smokes, what's that?" And so all we saw was he said there was a stream, and of course in the wind, a black streak coming from the side of the dish, the actual physical dish. And it was at where one of the legs of the dish comes into the surface of the dish. And there's nothing there that we figured can burn. There's the 2 feed lines, which don't have any high power on. And then there's the, what was the other thing on there? those two things. And oh yeah, there was a 110-volt line, which wasn't in use at the time. It was unplugged. So we're not sure what was burning.
That's
But anyway, the only other thing we could think of is maybe there was a bird there or something. But other than that, we blackbird.
well, was he imagining that it was smoke and could have been a bird, or was there actual?
He said he saw actual smoke. I didn't see it because I was blocked by the screens, but he was over on the side looking at the dish, and he could see this stream of black smoke coming out.
Well, we do have the power wires in there. Did something get kinked and shorted out there?
Well, we're not. First of all, the power wire that's in there is the 110. And Ray, I don't know if you're listening there. That was your line that you put in inside the waveguide, and it goes through that part now. I don't know why it would burn. Like I said, there was nothing connected to it. We're not using it for anything.
Well,
But
it's got voltage on it and it got shorted, it would burn.
yeah, that's probably
You
true.
can unplug it from down at the base.
I know it was unplugged. It was turned off. The breaker was off. So I
But that
don't
wasn't
know,
it.
I don't know why it would burn, but if it did, well, it stopped. And next time we tried it, we couldn't get it to burn again. So whatever was there was incinerated.
Hmm.
Anyway, and at the same time, by the way, incinerated, our preamp died. That's where we burned out the preamp. We checked it, and we were having the preamp was going to a 5-watt dummy load. And when we checked it, the 5-watt dummy load was gone. It was burned out. So we weren't sure why this all happened. And Alex is working on Plan B. So we should have that operational on Friday.
Paul, it's too
And
coincidental. It could be that the what he saw burning was the 5-watt dummy load.
Well, the dummy load's in the feed.
Yeah, but from the right angle, it might look like the smoke's coming from the edge of the dish.
Well, that's anything's possible. Like I said, I never saw it.
Too coincidental.
It
Can
was.
can the amp be sent back to Kuhn and get rebuilt a little cheaper, or is it?
Yeah, we ordered one. I ordered a new amp from Kuhn. And hopefully, Reich, Paul and Alex took it back with him, didn't he?
I don't know.
Okay.
I wasn't there when he left, so he may have taken it. I don't know. Bruce, do you know?
I do. He took that with him. He also took the transfer switch. He measured very carefully. The transfer switch does not have the rated amount of isolation. And that could be part of the problem because the preamp was getting, according to his measurements, it was getting too much energy. There was not enough isolation between the transmit and receive in the feed. He has another transfer switch. I think he's going to bring another transfer switch, and he also has another LNA in case we don't have the one that's been ordered.
Yeah, we had a spare, and that's the one he's going to put back in. But we don't need receive for this experiment. So
Right.
So this wasn't Don. This wasn't the Kuhn power amp. It was the preamp.
preamp, yeah,
Preamp, yeah.
Oh,
So-
the preamp. Oh,
Not the power amp.
preamp.
no, yeah, I knew it was the preamp, but I just wondered if it could be rebuilt. Well, it's only a casual question. Never mind.
And we do
Yeah.
have another spare power amp as well.
Yeah,
And pair supply too, don't we?
Pardon?
I mean,
And power
well,
supply, yeah.
yeah.
Power
So
supply.
we got some
Roger
good-
has a power supply. The preamp hopefully will come in by Thursday or Friday. And Bill has the new amplifier, don't you, Bill?
The answer to that question, Alex thinks he can fix the LNA. He thinks the gas FET at the input of it probably is what went out. He doesn't know the part number. He's going to try to figure out what that is from a user's group and then replace that part. And he thinks that would fix the LNA because it probably
that'd be good.
did. And Paul, could we get an idea of the schedule this weekend, like when to be up there and what's going on?
Sure. Okay. So, if you want to be there at the very beginning, I'd come on Friday. I'm coming Friday. So, I'm going to be leaving first thing in the morning, I think on Friday or maybe Thursday night, depends on, family obligations here. And so I'll I'll be down there. Well, if I leave early in the morning, I'll be there by 9 o'clock or 9:30. Takes about 3.5 hours to drive. And so I'll be there early, and then we'll be spending the night there Friday night at the building, Saturday night at the building. Alex has to go back to go back home Sunday morning. So I'll have to see what other things are going on and whether I can operate the station for Sunday. The station's gonna the operating schedule. It'll be between 6 and 7 in the morning. We'll start transmitting, and we're going to be running a Zoom call. You guys are all invited. I'll publish the Zoom information, but we're going to have a Zoom call with the folks in Europe at the same time. So everybody knows what everybody's doing, and we'll be logging the exact times that we start transmitting, so that when the data is collected, we will be able to send it over to them for processing. And well, let me put it another way. They're gonna be actually recording it, so they'll be able to process it over there. And I'm gonna see if we can get a copy of it over here. Maybe we can do some processing as well. So maybe Rick can help us with that.
What
So
time's the Zoom call, Paul?
probably somewhere between 6 and 7 in the morning, a.m.
On Friday or on
Saturday.
Saturday?
Saturday. We may have one on Friday with those guys as well. I don't know. I'm talking to them on Wednesday, so we'll see what their availability is, because they may be they may be working on Friday or something. So I'm not sure of their availability. But anyway,
Hey, Paul.
yes, yes.
You were asking about sending slow speed CW. I just put it, just putting it in the link here, but there is a software program called MRP40,
Okay.
which is a Morse code decoder and sender. And I'm on the web page, and it says transmitting Morse code 0.4 to 60 words per minute.
Well, that sounds like it's the right thing.
And you can have a sound card interface. So it says a WinKeyer interface.
Really?
Anyway, I put it in the link, but I'll email it out also to the board just for everyone's information.
That's great. Yeah, the WinKeyer by itself does not go less than 10 words per minute.
Yeah, well, I haven't read the whole manual, but this is what they claim, on their homepage.
Okay, you'll be in my.
And it is compatible with Windows 10 also.
That's even better. Okay, well, thank you very much, Bill. Hopefully you can help us.
Yeah.
Any other ideas?
At that speed, I might actually be able to decode it personally.
Well, there you go. There you go. We'll put you down for Dubis.
About 1 word per minute, please.
I'm sure we can do that. These guys send really slow. But we'll get some other guys.
Paul, there's one other thing that we might want to add to the list of things that we need to do, and that's a master scheduler. And part of the reason I say that is we tend to leave the radio astronomy in the dust here with all the contesting and everything. But I think we should have, like, we could do this on Google Calendar, which I think is free to all of us.
Yeah, our group's IO has a calendar feature.
Okay.
And there's actually a way, because another club that I'm helping out has taken that calendar and figured out how to post it on their website.
Yeah. Yeah, and you should be able to do that. I know you could do it with Google Calendar.
Yeah, you actually do it through Google Calendar.
Yeah. But my point is that we need a scheduling program to schedule site time in the future, because we're running up against conflicts between the ham radio contesting and all the activities and EVE and everything, and the astronomy thing that many of us would like to engage in. So we don't want to be stepping on each other, but we need a way to block out some time. I don't mean a day at a time, but more like a block of time for each activity, so that we can put a feed up, we can do some work, and we can get stuff scheduled in between things. That's one of the things I noticed when at the VLA was the VLA runs 24/7, 365 days a year, and every moment of those telescopes is scheduled for some other scientist. And so they do it all in a master scheduling program, similar to what Ray and I saw on the radio stations that schedules when the music plays, when the news plays, all of that. It's very similar to that. But it doesn't have to be in moment by moment like those do, but we need to have block time lined out so that everybody gets used to this.
I'd like to get some input from other members who want to do experiments, other types of experiments with the dish. Dan is being really great with his pulsars, but maybe there's some other people that would like to do the same thing, who have got some expertise they would like to do, or maybe somebody I think Rick said he wants to do some of this stuff as well, personally. So I think we need to open it up to the membership, because it's a membership asset that we should use.
And Bill, yeah, we'll talk about what's the best scheduling tool, right? Maybe a calendar, it may be something else, but I
Yeah,
think that's an excellent idea.
If you've got something in Groups.io that works, we just use it,
Well, one of the nice things about groups.io is when you post the calendar, you can send out messages automatically too,
Yeah.
when you post things to the calendar. Anyway, we should look at it. We've got it. Something to think about. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions from anyone else? We hadn't heard from anyone else on this. Okay, don't hear anybody jumping in there.
I was just going to mention that I did a presentation for the DSES about the site and everything we're doing with the Sarah conference on this last weekend. And I did that on Saturday, and I think that went pretty well, except that we had a lot of technical issues with the Zoom setup. They have a connection between Zoom and the Polycom conference system in the conference room, and that kept faulting on us and giving us trouble. So that kind of put a wrench in the thing. But anyway, we got a presentation out. I just sent the presentation deck set to the board. Roger needed to use that to do another presentation for another group. I can't remember where the group was. But anyway, so I sent him the deck. He can use parts of that. The conference went really well. We had a number of presenters, some really interesting things that we might want to look at. There is a schedule on the Sarah website. I can publish this if we want. I could send this out to everybody what the individual papers were about. And then we did get a tour of the VLA on Sunday, and that's always a big thrill. Not quite as good as we were there in 2017 and got to see just about everything, because it was a weekday and it was under operation, and they gave us several of the scientists to talk to for several hours, and that was a real thrill, talking to some of the prime scientists on pulsars, the guy that designed the correlator of the VLA. That was interesting. All those things in 2017. This time we just had one of the employees who was part of our conference and gave several papers in our conference. He took us out to the VLA and got to show us around a little bit, but we didn't get into the control room or the maintenance shed or any of the things like that I was looking forward to. But it was still great to be there and watch all the dishes move in unison. And if you haven't been there, you gotta go. And it's open now. It was closed for a couple of years under COVID, but I think it's open 7 days a week for tours.
That the gentleman, the guy from Huntsville, Alabama, gave a really good presentation as well. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it was good until he said that we're
Yeah.
losing Space Force.
Yeah, until the Space Force is going to be moving. Yeah.
And then I wanted to jump in there and pounce on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good presentation.
This is the close-up of the feed. with EVE in there. See all the cables?
Kind of looks like a satellite.
Yeah.
It does. I'm sure it's probably as complicated as any satellite you'll ever see up in the sky.
I wonder if there's enough fans. Yeah.
Uh, well, no, we got more on the other side of it too.
Boy,
Yeah, if a bird
What is
flies over it, it's gonna get
what's the piece of
killed.
Romex that's tied around there?
Yeah.
oh, that's cute. Yeah.
Oh,
It's the that's the gold, that's the equivalent of the golden screw. That's what holds everything in place.
This is one of the temperature probes we have here just to measure the temperature coming into the system, or actually
Uh-huh.
coming out of the system. These are the fans that pull the air out, and they go into a vent which is on the lid that goes on top or over this thing. So the air goes through those fans. There's other fans at the other end blowing. So we have about I don't know, 20-mile-an-hour wind coming out of there. Just kidding. But you can see all the different controls and everything else that's in here, and all the different cables going down the side here. So it's quite a machine. Anyway, that's all I wanted to show.
Nice.
All right, if that's all, I'm going to sign off, and Floyd's got the I guess
Yeah,
the
we're-
recording in or someone has the recording on their computer.
let's hope I have that in the computer. We'll cross our fingers here.
Yeah, Bill, I gotta check out so you can do whatever you need to do with the system.
All right, we're heading out.
Oh, yeah. If you check out, I'm not sure what will happen. Is Floyd still logged in? Yes, he is.
Yeah, He
Yes.
said he said he'd be back.
So as long as he's logged in, and it's his game, it won't drop, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Bill, let me know if you did get a video out of all this, and
Yeah.
if so, we'll get it put up on the YouTube site.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thanks, everybody.
See you later.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, all.
Good night.